Yeah, so what's up, guys? This is Duncan Bentley from Vulvodynia as well as Zavleg. Yeah.
G'day, mate. How you doing today?
Yeah, man, I'm doing lovely. I'm doing great today. And you, bud?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. It's just the sun's setting. It's starting to get a bit chilly, so other than that, life is good.
Yeah, no, the sun actually just came up my side.
Oh, right.
Yeah, early morning here.
Oh, wow, it's polar opposites. Vulvodynia have announced a tour of Australia this coming November, so I know it's still a long way off, bro, but what sorts of things do you do as a band to prepare for a foreign country?
Well, the thing is, like being a band from South Africa, not a lot of other bands have done what we have done, you know what I mean? And, like during COVID, we realized that we had taken the whole touring thing for granted and we didn't realize what we had until it was gone. So like now we're so ready to just be on the road for like, you know, the whole year pretty much. And, like I said, there's very few bands from South Africa doing what we're doing. So it's an awesome thing being able to go over and inspire bands this side to actually, you know, try and aspire to bigger things, because there's so many amazing artists in South Africa and a lot of them just give up before, you know, they can even travel overseas. But yeah, no, we've been doing this for quite a while, and we hit Australia last in like 2019. And that was quite a hard tour for us as well, because it was during all of the forest fires and things like that there in Australia. And I remember we had to take some crazy detours to get to some of the shows. And I think this time around it's going to be a lot easier getting in between the shows and all of it. But yeah, no, I think as a band from South Africa, preparing to go that side is quite difficult. Like, it's harder for us to get visas than most other bands from other countries and things like that. But when we've gotten to the level that we are at now, it's actually quite simple for us to go over. But yeah, no, Australia is so similar to South Africa weather-wise, and like I feel like with how friendly the people are and everything there, that going over that side is like being at home and playing shows. So it's awesome, man.
So speaking of the tour, bro, like what can Australian audiences expect from the shows? What are you going to bring us?
Well, pretty much the most brutal thing you've ever heard. The equivalent to a sewer just flowing through your ears into your brain. That's pretty much.
I love that.
South African metal to Australia, and like we already have quite a big fan base there, so I feel like there's a lot of fans that have seen us before, but to the new fans that just found us, yeah, get ready for some brutal music.
The tour is promoting your latest album. I'm going to have a crack at saying this, but I'll probably get it wrong, but Praenuntius Infiniti.
You nailed it, bro.
It took me 3 goes. How's the reception been for that, bro?
Oh, man, it's been so rad. I guess that album is pretty much the one blessing that COVID gave us, because we had that time to sit down and just write the best album we possibly could. That album is also the first album that we've ever written together as a band. Like, previous albums all written in different cities and like emailed stems off and things like that. And now we finally had the chance to get together and write an album together and, you know, bounce ideas off of each other on different things that we don't necessarily do. Like, for instance, I got to give ideas on the drums and the guitar work and things like that, and vice versa. Everybody got to give, you know, their inputs on the vocals and the lyrics and all kinds of things like that. So it's just, it's a team effort, and it's really, it's our most intricate album to date, and it has really done super well. So we're excited to hit the road with that one.
Yeah, cool. And I'm not going to try and say it again because it took me 3 goes last time, but what does the title actually mean?
So, Praenuntius is actually Latin for harbinger. And Praenuntius Infiniti, is pretty much, the harbinger of all time. And, when we came up with the idea for Praenuntius, we were like looking into tons of different horror characters, and like, actually, I was watching Stephen King's It. And in Stephen King's It, he says that it's an interdimensional being that feasts off of the fear of other like beings. And I thought that is such a cool idea. So I want to incorporate that into things. And I'm also a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft and like the Eldritch horror. So like I wanted a planet-eating deity that feasts off of the fear of like the deities that he eats. And so we came up with the idea of Praenuntius. And this album is pretty much his entire origin story and how he was birthed. And he was pretty much birthed by the sin of the gods themselves, and they were sinning before time itself, and they gave birth to this monstrosity, and they were like, what the fuck is this? And they cast him out into the abyss, and he grew up in the abyss wondering why he existed, and he ended up devouring everything in existence to defeat the gods who created him. So that's pretty much what the album is about. Yeah, but it has a lot of like innuendos and like things where if you don't understand what the lyrics are about, you can kind of understand it in a way that relates to you in like a personal way, which is really awesome. So if you drop in on any song and you just start reading the lyrics, it still might, you know, have some sort of meaning to you. But yeah, it's the first time that we've done like a proper full concept album, and it was just really rad writing for it. So many lyrics, and I felt like I wrote a novel's worth of lyrics.
It's a full-on run of shows you got, mate, starting in Brisbane at the Woolly Mammoth on November the 11th, before going through Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide, finishing at the Amplifier in Perth on November 16th. So you've only got one day off that whole run, man. Like, somebody doesn't like you.
Yeah. I feel like usually we run on no days off, and like I said, after being stuck at home for 2 years, we're ready to do a run with no breaks. And around that run, we're also like doing, I think, New Zealand and Asia and stuff like that. So we're not going home anytime soon. But no, I'm really excited. And the last time we went to Australia, the response was amazing. So I know it's going to be great.
The band plays a unique blending of brutal slamming metal mixed with melodic tech death metal sort of styles, mate. So how did you actually come to mix those two extreme forms of music together, and how easy was it to make it work?
Well, definitely. I feel like in the beginning when we started out, we wanted to actually mix up slamming brutal death metal and deathcore. That was the first idea that we had. And we really liked the mix that bands like Ingested and Acrania were doing, and that inspired us a lot. But then we started touring with bands like Archspire and Inferi and seeing how insane the tech stuff is. And we've got two amazing guitarists in our band, and Chris and Luandile, and they have a modern guitar project. So they are really leagues ahead in guitar, and they wanted to incorporate some of that into the new album. So that's where all the tech stuff came from, and the solos and things like that. And I feel like we've been heavily inspired by other bands that we tour with. So Archspire was definitely one of those big influences, and you can see that on the new album and the feature from Ollie from Archspire, their vocalist. So yeah, I feel like blending the genres was quite difficult, but we just took aspects from artists that we toured with that we liked a lot and try to blend it together, and it just ended up working. So, you know, it's awesome not having to limit yourself to one genre of metal. We just like to mash it all up and, you know, have a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah. All right, Duncan. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, mate. Thanks for your time. Vulvodynia will be in Australia in November the 11th, so get yourselves a ticket. I'll be at the Brisbane show, my friend, and it'll be good to catch up and have a beer.
Yeah. Yes, we better, dude. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait, dude. I'll do a shoey on stage.
Yeah, not out of my shoe, though, because my feet fucking stink.
No, definitely, man. I'm going to buy a new pair of shoes for that one.